You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Chrissie, and joining me is my co-host, Thad. Thad, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I worried about the fact that I didn't show my navel, and now they want to sacrifice me to a volcano, but other than that, I'm okay.
Okay, yeah, we're going to have to work on that. What do they do if it's a species that doesn't have a navel?
There are some humans that don't have navels. So, I mean, yeah, that's a complicated question. Maybe you just have to carry around a navel orange to, like...
It just shows how far we've come from the original series. They couldn't even have done that story in the 60s.
There would have been a slight little bit in the 80s where they could have...
Be like just show the area around your navel.
Yeah. All right, well, and listeners, as you can also hear, we have joined with us today Jarrah Hodge from Women at Warp, and I found out you've written for Bitch Magazine, which is fantastic. I love it. Welcome to Infinite Diversity.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm feeling particularly bold today. I made a promise to myself yesterday. I would say yes to the next person who asked me to do something, and then Thad was like, hey, can you come on our podcast?
That worked out really well.
Yeah, that's a lot better than Boimler.
I promise there will be no hunting on this podcast.
Yeah. All right, well, before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make this show possible, particularly our associate producers, Carl Wonders and Justin Oser. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10 at patreon.com/BQN. And with a monthly Patreon subscription of just $5, you can join our meetings of the Hive Mind on the second Saturday of each month. Watch your Patreon messages for details. All right, well, listeners, let's get into our conversation about the second episode of the third season of Lower Decks, and that is The Least Dangerous Game, which was very different than I thought it was going to be when I saw the title. So, Jarrah, what were your first impressions on this episode?
Well, I'm curious what you thought it was going to be from the title first.
Okay, well, when they released the first few titles, and the first one was Grounded, and this one was Least Dangerous Game, I thought Grounded was going to be getting everybody together, like on the Cerritos, to get the captain back, and then the Least Dangerous Game I thought was going to be the Packlets. So playing on the movie, The Most Dangerous Game, where you're hunting humans, if you're hunting Packlets. But this works very well for the Boimler plot, so...
Yes, definitely. I mean, first impressions, I really enjoyed the episode. Laughed a lot, thought it was really funny. Enjoyed the in-jokes and the general shenanigans.
Good word, shenanigans. All right, Thad, what about you? Initial impressions?
Pretty similar. I had fun. I very much enjoyed Boimler. The bold. Oh, yes. I mean, whenever an episode is Boimler trying to do something, it becomes hilarious. But this one, with Boimler deciding to say yes to everything, we got some great scenes. We got the Bajoran dirge choir. And
that was my favorite part.
That was great.
Mine too.
Mine too. Yes, the whole hunting scene. I mean, it's the sort of plot that we can only get in Lower Decks because... Obviously, if they did this in live-action Star Trek, there'd be tons of questions about why are they allowing a crew member to be hunted in real life. But on a comedy, it works because it's hilarious, and we know that they're going to go and do wacky things. I love when the captain's like, not on my watch, and then she finds out it's the guy she had brunch with. She's like, no, it's fine. You got to respect his culture. That was good. It was a lot of fun. I liked the Ransom Mariner plot, and the the planet with Rutherford and Billups there. Just very fun, humorous episode.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too. I'm glad that we got back into normal plot lines pretty quickly. I was hoping it wouldn't be the whole season of trying to get back the captain, which I think we talked about last week, but, just to reinforce that. All right, well, we start out with the clip we got at Chicago. Mm-hmm. Yay! That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Dungeons and Dragons Klingon style.
Mm-hmm.
Batleths and Binooks.
Okay, so what is a Binook? Do we know?
It is... I learned it and then forgot, but I want to say it's someone who dies a dishonorable death.
Ah, that would be amazing.
That would make sense.
Yes, it's the Klingon word for coward who dies a dishonorable death.
Love it.
Nice. All right.
And that was the shirt this week that Titmouse did for the episode is the logo of Batleths and Binooks, which is designed to look like a classic 80s D&D logo, and of course I bought it immediately because that's amazing.
Oh, yes. They were going to have a nice little Stranger Things crossover if we can here, right?
Hey, if they can do a crossover with Strange New Worlds, they can do a crossover with anything.
I mean, I think it's totally believable that in the future you would have basically AI DM D&D.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea that you can buy all these expansions to get it DM'd by different Klingons. And I also love just some of those references. I think it's Mariner maybe who says that wow, they really had Martok play full intensity this entire time.
Yeah, the fact that they got J.G. Hertzler in the episode to do it is amazing because he does a fantastic job as always. Also, as someone who has very recently played the Star Trek TNG VCR board game. Mm-hmm. I love, because it's clearly also a reference to that, especially when they talk about how he's been trying to get the Gowron expansion, because Robert O'Reilly is the Klingon.
But that's not Gowron.
It's not Gowron, it's Captain Kabok, because they didn't have the license for the name Gowron.
It's his evil twin.
Experience beige.
Yeah, that was good.
I also like that they all had kind of Klingon costume modifiers that they could have just made. Boimler has this kind of Klingon headpiece with a wig on it that he's just kind of got over on his uniform, and they all have these kind of shoulder pieces. Very few people actually do that for D&D, but it's delightful in this context.
Yeah, no, D&D is typically just t-shirts and cargo shorts in my experience.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was great. And I like at the end, because we'll jump around, but whatever, at the end of the D&D session, when they find out that when Boimler decides to take the safe path, and ends up, he's like, and you don't die an honorable death, you end up a dentist. And they're all like, damn!
Yeah, well, there's that piece, and then the part, at the very end where he's like, I'm being bold, and then he's like, the bartender cuts off your hand and kills you with it,
it's
and
dishonorable
then you die.
Because it's by your own hand. Yes! That was amazing.
Yeah, it was appropriately hardcore.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I would play this game. CBS needs to market and sell this game because I would play the crap out of it. Even if it doesn't have the actual J.G. Hertzler giving you commands the whole time. If it's just because we have Star Trek Adventures, which is awesome. I've played that a few times, actually. But this particular thing, where you're the humorous Klingon type thing, I want this as an actual game.
Yeah. And, it could be just basically a Klingon choose-your-own-adventure game, right? It doesn't have to be able to respond to every idea you could come up with, because that would be pretty impossible. I mean, you can, of course, play Star Trek Adventures Klingon campaigns, my co-host Eliza DMs a lot of those. But, yeah, something like this that's, lower barrier to entry.
Yeah, I want this.
Like that. Again, I hate to make these comparisons, but this is the kind of thing that if we had seen on, I don't know, Mandalorian, it would be there. They would have released it, when the episode dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Paramount doesn't quite have that Disney money or that Disney merchandising acumen.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, it's the merchandising acumen. I mean, it's yeah.
Where's our Murph
The money
plushie,
they get
Paramount?
back.
Where's our Murph plushie?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I have so many merch thoughts. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm astonished that we did get the Geordie Bear after all, you know.
I'm shocked that they made that, but beyond that, like, there are so many merch thoughts, but the ridiculous thing is that Prodigy is now almost a year old and there still isn't a Murph plushie. That should have come out day one, the first episode of Prodigy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they might not do that kind of thing for the regular shows, you know, that aren't geared toward kids. Mm-hmm. But come on, what is the point of a cartoon on Nickelodeon if not to sell stuff?
Well, and like the Prodigy action figures are coming out in like December, I think, or January 2023.
November, I think.
So, okay, yeah. But basically, like, they are going to put the stuff out, so it's not an issue of consumer demand, because they think they will get the money back, but it's an issue of timing.
Yeah. Like
the fact that we're getting these Playmates action figures out of Discovery, and it's the Season 1 uniforms, and we're about to go into Season 5.
Yeah. I think technically it's Season 2, but yes.
Okay.
Well, it's the same.
Well,
the
Burnham
blue
has a
uniforms.
com badge.
Not quite the same.
In Season 1, she doesn't have a badge on her chest. Sorry, I'm being pedantic, but...
No, you're not. That's.
You get my point, though, right? Like, we're also about to go into Season 5, and it's like the first, other than the Mego, actual action figures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think
surprised.
that there haven't been action figures, really, until now, and I'm very glad that Playmates is coming back into the game. I am eagerly awaiting mine because I see so many friends that bought them on Amazon and already have them, and I pre-ordered mine months ago and they still haven't come, so anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the ones for, like, the 2009 Trek didn't sell as well as they'd hoped, but at the same time...
Well, they were also not great figures.
And I feel like they were hard to find. Not at conventions and stuff, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I remember seeing a couple of them at, like, my local Walmart at one point, but I remember looking at them thinking, oh, these aren't very good. Because they were smaller than the previous Playmates figures had been in the 90s, and they just weren't very detailed, and they... Yeah. The new ones, from what I've seen, though, have a lot of points of articulation and should be pretty cool. I'm not super thrilled with a couple of the face sculpts, but other than that, they look really good.
Mm-hmm. But I also want Lower Decks action figures.
Yes! Oh my god, yes! But the fact that the Playmates figures exist at all, and we are finally getting action, and the reaction figure series as well, that are doing in the style of the old Galoob figures. The fact that we're finally getting action figures that are affordably priced as toys instead of collector's items is a big win in my book.
Agree.
Yeah. That's huge. What are they, 15 or something like that?
Yeah.
No? Yeah. I suppose that's right.
I mean, that's still like twice what they were in the 90s, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's, I don't know, it's like the college tuition market. It's got to go up.
Oh, they'd be like 30 if
more.
it had gone up to the college tuition market.
That's okay. Somewhere in between. You can't get loans for action figures from the federal government. So
I mean,
that's a little bit of a control.
Not yet.
I
mean, credit cards. You could get loans for action figures if you really want to. But
well, yeah, that's why I specified federal government. Anyway,
we on Infinite Diversity do not endorse going into debt to buy Star Trek merchandise, even if I may have in fact done that in the past many times.
That's why we don't recommend it, because we know whereof we speak.
When someone comes to you and says, would you like to take out another credit card in order to buy Star Trek action figures? The right approach is not the bold Boimler approach.
No. Well, that's good. That brings us to Bold Boimler. See, we can bring it around. It's all good. All right, first of all, after I first saw this for a while until I rewatched it, I kept calling him Brash Boimler.
That would have been great, actually.
Goofed in my head.
That works
it
because it's Brad Boimler, Brash Boimler. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, maybe I'll just call him that. Okay. I didn't even think about the the alliteration with his name. It was just like I just mistook one word for the other. So, all right. So Boimler decides, because that Bolian who got stabbed in like the second episode of the whole series got his captaincy, that he's going to now become bold because Tendi said it was not the worst idea. And you know what? She's not wrong. I'm sure we have all had experiences in our lives where we set out intending to do one thing and we end up doing something different, maybe adjacent, like she is with her science training, but still different. So, spring ball.
Oh man. Yeah, it's very funny. Like, I think Shax asked them because they need someone like wiry that can't be hit easily.
Yeah. And then we don't get to see, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but we don't get to see him model for the oil painting class.
Oh my gosh, the life drawing class.
We should have gotten that with the sensor bar like we did in season 2.
And season 1.
Oh yeah, well, no, I think they were both in season 2, actually, the sensor bars.
Was it
oh,
the
no!
girlfriend that was
I
the
forgot.
parasite?
Oh, there was the parasite in season 1, you're right. Yeah, we have seen Boimler naked multiple times.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't need it a third time, and that's why they just were like, we've seen this. Let's stick to
this could be a running joke, though. I mean, Boimler has to be naked once a season. Mm-hmm. You know? Maybe. Anyway, yeah, I liked how they were all in the Julian Bashir style speed uniform, whatever the hell that's called.
The outfit that I will never cosplay.
Unitard. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I would never be confident enough to cosplay that. I very happily would cosplay the Miles O'Brien version
same.
with the shorts and polo. Yeah, that's good. All right, so bold, brash Boimler screams so well that Shax invites him to the Bajoran choir because they need a soprano.
Yep. And then, like, they're singing and there's just, like, tears streaming down their faces.
Yes.
It's so delightful.
Yeah, I love it.
It's perfect. I mean, and it's perfect contextually in the story as well, because you can imagine, like, Bajoran funerary music is going to be really beautiful and heavy because of the background.
Yeah. It's like, let's dirge it up.
Every time they give Shax something to do, I love it. Every single time.
Yeah, we need more of him.
Yeah, gotta keep, like, that whole thing that he is, like, this big, angry guy, but then he does these, like, unexpectedly really artistic and sensitive things. It's delightful. Yes.
Yes. Yes, you can...
Fights fascism and does pottery.
Yes. And you can fight fascism with the pottery if you need something to put, like, your Molotov cocktails in. There you go.
There you go.
Right. Fight the fascism. All right, and then we come to the... I guess I'm going ahead Boimler, and then we'll do the other... talk about the other stuff. And then Cranch shows up, whose name is K. Ranch.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like, I read it like that in the outline with the apostrophe, and it reminded me of, like, someone that was trying to be, like, a white rapper in the 90s.
Oh, God!
K. Ranch.
I didn't go there. I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, if you didn't have the closed caption on, you wouldn't have necessarily noticed that, but K. Ranch. Craft Ranch? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway.
Someone on Twitter said was making a joke about K Ranch Doritos.
Oh God.
Oh, that's perfect. Again, merchandising, people. Actually, that would have been a funny T-shirt too.
But the Batleth and Beanuts is perfect.
Oh yeah, no, that's better. That's better. All right, so he marks him with his tooth. He rips out a tooth and marks him with his tooth.
I assume it grows back.
I hope. Maybe it was a fake one that he does that just every time.
Possible. Yeah. My guess is they probably just have, like, their special hunting marking tooth that just grows back whenever they pull it out.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so Brash Boimler, Bold Boimler. Now it's stuck in my head. It's going to be that. Yeah, and Tendi is trying to talk him out of it, and I love how. Did you think it made sense that Tendi kind of had some guilt over this at the end? Yeah,
she's like, this is partially her fault. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, in context, it does make sense. Yeah.
I'm saying she sees it
knowing who she is, it makes sense she does. But if it was me, I'd be like, dude,
I also
you're an adult.
love
You took this totally the wrong way.
I love how she politely apologizes and declines being hunted, too. I thought that worked really well.
Yes.
Like, no thanks, maybe just go see Dr. Ta'ana.
Yeah, I love that. Because she's so... Like, she's never negative. She's just been asked for all she knows to be hunted down and killed, because she doesn't know that part. Or maybe she does, and if she didn't tell Boimler, and she did, that's kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, the only time we see her negative is when that thing takes over her last season. But yeah, so polite. I feel like she's worked retail. That felt like a retail thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I love Cranch. I thought he was delightful, and like the crawling on the walls and everything, and the line where he's like, thanks for the mimosas, in that like super growly voice. So great.
Yes. Yeah, that was funny.
And the selfies.
When you decide to switch it up and become the hunter, you can't just stand there.
Don't announce it, which is true. Which is very, very true. You don't announce it. What'd you guys think of how Boimler kind of reacted with that? Like, he started out and he's all Bold Boimler, and then it seems like he realizes what a mistake it could have been. You know?
Until he then realizes it's not a mistake, and then he decides it's not a mistake after he gets the pep talk from Virtual Martok.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's obviously like screaming and scurrying and trying to get Captain Freeman to intervene and everything, and trying to talk the guy out of it. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's very silly, and I get that, like, you know, there's that group of folks that like just never really liked Lower Decks and might be like, oh, this is like super absurd that the captain would just let this guy be hunted on our ship. But like, it's obviously kind of, but it's like a you know, poking fun at itself of like some of the things that Star Trek explains away by just being like, we have to respect another culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It had shades of trying to figure out how to give the Hirogen. It was the Hirogen who are the hunters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Took the holodeck tech, you know, trying to figure out how to make that so that they weren't actually killing people. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, I feel like that his species maybe was at that point at some point, and then somebody introduced them to social media, and now it's just for pictures.
Just one more for the boys at home.
Yeah, so we get the pep talk from Video Martok, and all's well that ends well, I suppose.
Well, I mean,
this felt like
Dr. Ta'ana says his shoulder will never fully heal.
Mm-hmm.
That's
at
true.
the end, he seems pretty happy about it. Like, oh, that was worth it. I got way more from doing this than I did from basically following the rules for
But also,
years.
how does 24th century medicine not completely repair any wound? But yeah.
Ask Miles O'Brien, who keeps doing the exact same thing to his shoulder.
Oh, that's fair.
While doing the exact same thing.
Well, he should really just stop kayaking.
Oh,
True.
apparently, Cranch was also inspired by Tosk, but like the reverse.
the Tosk Hunter. Okay.
Oh, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. With Dr. Tiana, I kind of feel like she might have willingly not quite fixed it for him so that he didn't go do something that stupid again. I feel like that's something she'd do. That
does also sound like something she would do, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know that twinge in your shoulder? Remember that next time somebody asks to hunt you. So, I felt like this was Boimler having his Rutherford experience when he was swapping around departments, which was funny because Rutherford even mentions that.
Maybe I should switch departments again.
Yeah.
I guess Starfleet isn't all about being fed fruit by erotic aliens with slightly different nose ridges.
Yeah. But, like, it works in this show because the senior staff are great, but they're not the focus of the shows. But if you have, like, one character that interacts with 3 of them, and then another character that interacts with 2 of them, then you basically cover them off. They all get a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. The other plot in the episode was, of course, Mariner and Ransom and the broken space elevator, as she insists upon calling it, and I love that.
It's an
In the
orbital
previous
lift.
episode, orbital lift, excuse me, broken orbital space elevator, which I don't. Those have always bothered me. Anytime they bring them up, whether it's was the Voyager episode or
I mean, it's a real sci-fi concept. Like, it's a real scientific concept.
It is, but it's also like, I guess it bothers me in concept, like the idea of being in an elevator and going that far, that quickly. Just, ugh.
Fair.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy the part, I'm sort of skipping ahead, but like where
No, that's
I'll go right ahead.
she has to go back up and then she encounters the climbing wall.
Stupid society
Because
based
the
on
planet is so, like, exercise
wellness.
focused.
Yes.
Yes, I thought that was beautifully.
And then she's
lowered.
like
That's ridiculous.
sleeping on the dive down because she's just so exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is such a Mariner thing, because if somebody had said to her, like, were you really sleeping during that? She'd been like, yeah, I had to do that so many times during the Dominion War or whatever. She'd have some reaction for that. So, okay, so in the first episode of the season, Freeman passes off basically Mariner's staying or going to Ransom. And I felt like that made sense. Okay? First officer is supposed to be the one who handles crew issues and all that. But we have established a conflicting relationship with them before. So that kind of felt like, it didn't quite feel right. What did you think about that?
Yeah, like, I feel like we're just kind of supposed to forget about it by the way that they've treated it this first 2 seasons. But, like, yeah, the person I was watching it with was like, oh, is he gonna, like, try to hit on her? Because there were these moments in past seasons where, you know, he's like, when did Mariner become hot and stuff? And where, like, she seems to be at some points kind of attracted to him, but also hating him. And, like, yeah, so that dynamic does not work for me in this obvious power context.
Yeah.
So I hope they just kind of continue to pretend that didn't happen, because that's the only way it kind of works for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I was reminded of Ro and Riker. And how, you know, as soon as they lost their memory, they jumped into bed together.
Yeah.
Which I think it would be really funny if we see something like that happen with these two. But
I mean, if they legitimately, like, lost their memory, but I feel like then you'd have to remove this situation that he gets to decide her career.
Yeah.
yes.
Otherwise, that's creepy.
Yeah. Especially because,
It's a little
like,
creepy.
he's obviously, at this point, like, determined to find her doing something wrong.
Yes.
So, like, that's his approach, is, like, I don't trust you're gonna succeed at this thing. I'm out to find fault with you.
Yeah. I have to wonder if this is going to go on the whole season, or if at some point she's going to be let off the hook, or they're both be let off the hook. Because I just feel like this is... You can't do the rest of the show like this. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. And I also wonder, you know, I feel like she does have to undergo some character evolution in some way this season. But I don't know if I can really, like, buy her following orders better as a character.
Yeah, that does seem to be sort of against everything she stands for.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe there'll be, like, I don't think this experience was it that would convince her that, like, she didn't know better.
Oh, no, not at all.
But she obviously
'cause she didn't
does
act like
need an experience like that where she has to realize that she doesn't know best.
Yeah.
I wonder where this came from, because we know she was in the Dominion War, and I wonder if there's some circumstance, I hope we get this story someday, you know, where she was right, and everybody else was wrong, and maybe people died or something, you know, because she has this, and it feels like it's not just her being egotistical. It feels like there's something behind it. Mm-hmm. Do you guys feel like that? Maybe it's just me, but
yeah, maybe. I think I've always felt that part of it for Mariner is just growing up in a Starfleet family and it being, assumed and implied that she would be doing the same thing and that she would be, part of the Starfleet hierarchy. She's just always sort of rebelled against that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how interested they are in exploring, like, really, really deep trauma on this show.
That's for every other Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Maybe that's in the to-be-announced crossover with Star Trek Picard.
Yes.
But
I like that.
I think that, we know she has other stuff that's going to happen this season. Like, we know there's going to be more stuff with her and Jennifer, the Andorian. So I'm excited to see how that fits in. And yeah, I hope that it's not just like too much more of the kind of, I guess, power dynamics between Mariner and Ransom. Maybe that can just take like a bit of a back seat for a bit.
Yes. So he undermines everything by trying to make this point to Mariner. Yep. And he also, it reminded me of that meme. I don't know if it's a meme. It was probably like a poster in offices before there were memes on the internet. But the thing of the guy who's helping to pull the rock versus the one that's sitting on the rock while the other people pull it, the boss versus the leader thing. And he was being very boss. To the point where he wasn't even helping.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
No. What do you think the point of that is? Is he just trying to be terrible, or?
Honestly, I think he was trying to get Mariner to rebel. He was trying to get her to rebel so that it would give him the excuse to discipline her. Yeah. And that's all it was. He knew the decisions he was making was terrible. He knew that Billups and Rutherford shouldn't have been sent down to the planet and they should have worked on the elevator, but he wanted to see how far he could push Mariner.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a case of, like, he went down to that planet probably, first of all, thinking this was an easy mission, and so the objective that I have set is not to have good diplomatic relations and fix the space elevator. His objective is make Mariner, or test Mariner's ability to follow orders.
Yeah.
Okay. Be interesting to see how Freeman might react to that, the captain.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause I don't think it speaks particularly well of him.
No.
No.
Although
and
he does admit that he was wrong.
Yeah.
And that's true. And she also admits that the way he handled the situation it worked. It was appropriate. So,
but at the same time, he's also the executive officer on the ship, and he almost got 2 of his officers killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For a petty argument type thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, the sort of thing that we could not see in live-action Star Trek, only in Lower Decks, where they deliberately exaggerate things beyond belief.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, one part I didn't like of this subplot was the Rutherford and Billups thing. While it's amusing, I kind of worried that it took us a bit back on Billups' path. Because one thing in last season that a lot of fans pointed out was in Where Pleasant Fountains Lie, that Billups was perhaps coded as ace or aromantic. And this, he's like, yeah, I love kissing all these hot people. We should do this more. I mean, Rutherford's the one who says we should do this more, but like, he didn't seem at all uncomfortable about this, like, very overt sexual affection, attention. And to me, that was a missed opportunity to reinforce that that's part of his character, which I think meant a lot to a lot of Ace fans.
I agree with that. I did like that they at least called back to that a little bit, where Ransom said, watch out, you don't become a king down there.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree.
And then Billups kind of blew that off. He's like, oh no, I don't have time.
Yeah.
So I feel like they weren't completely straying away from that. But yeah, to me, because I thought of that too, and I'm like, is this out of character for him? And then I was thinking, has he ever not had the shadow of his responsibility and his mother over a sexual situation? And that sounds really terrible, but, you know, maybe this is, it's a situation that he can separate himself from that. You know, doesn't take away, or maybe it does. I don't know, but
I think,
it was
just reading what fans wrote about Where Pleasant Fountains Lie and the things they related to, that one of the things that people said they related to was how uncomfortable he seemed at the sexual pressure. And here his mom's not there and stuff, but if you're ace for a lot of people, that doesn't go away when
of course
your mom's not there. So it's just like you would just be uncomfortable regardless because you don't want that attention. So I think that's the piece that was missing. And I don't think it would have hurt the episode at all to have him be uncomfortable about that.
Yeah.
They could have made that the plot point instead of his belly button.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, that could have been what, you know, had them all raising the pitchforks. Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been good. Yeah, no, I was not thinking in the ace standpoint. I was thinking just of a different issue, you know. Do you think Mariner was justified in jumping down there, even though, you know, she did it without orders and then had to scramble back up the climbing wall?
To her mind, certainly. I think what we know, hindsight being 2020, we now know that Ransom would not have allowed, because he didn't allow it to get to the point where Rutherford and Billups would actually be sacrificed to the volcano. So that's a complicated question.
Like, she did have a couple seconds to push him again on it, and she didn't. She just overheard the message and then made her own call. So, I mean, I think she was justified, but she missed an opportunity to be like, come on, are you really gonna continue again? Like, she could have pushed it and asked him again.
Yeah. Do you think he would have pushed back and then not gone down as quick?
That's possible.
Yeah. We don't know.
I did really appreciate the baby / computer / volcano
balance of powers.
It provides a system of checks and balances.
That was the best line.
Yes. And then that made me think of, like, okay, so which one of these is Congress, which one of these is the presidency, and which one of these is the Supreme Court? I don't know if that's the commentary they were making, but it made me think of that.
I mean, the telepathic baby was my favorite, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yes. Of course. Did you catch the Harry Potter joke in that, or what I think was a Harry Potter joke?
No.
No? Okay. The baby was a Mendrick.
Oh, yes.
And in Harry Potter, there's mandrakes.
Oh,
maybe
right.
I'm going too far with it. The ones that
no, that kind of makes sense.
Crying. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
There's so many references.
100% sure that it's a joke, but it could be. It's certainly,
my headcanon is that it was intentional.
And obviously, like, the aliens were kind of a mashup of Justice and the Apple and numerous other random TOS episodes where there's, like, quote unquote primitive aliens.
Yes.
Had a little bit of a King Kong feel too at the end when they were tied up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this before, but it does echo Voyager's rise, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah. And we have the orbital skydiving from 2009.
Yeah. Do you think there's a larger idea to all of this? Are we supposed to get something more? The message, you know,
message
like
meaning
TNG,
morals.
Message meaning morals. Yeah, thank you.
I'm not sure that in Lower Decks we're seeing as much of that.
No.
I mean, that's complicated because Mariner wasn't necessarily wrong, but I mean, she wasn't necessarily right either. So I don't know that we can say the message is to listen to authority. I don't know if we can say that the message is to act on your own. So it's complicated. I generally, in this one, feel like it was just a fun episode of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. I think there was more of a message about Ransom than there was about Mariner in this episode. Okay. And then a message around Boimler and the idea of, like, trying new things, but in moderation. Don't just agree to get hunted.
Yeah. I did think there was a point of letting the people that know how to do a given job do that job. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a message, meaning, and moral.
Like, but, don't go off your mission plan completely to prove a point.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. I feel like we should have more to talk about, and then I forget that these are half an hour instead of an hour.
Yeah, I mean, we talked for like an hour and a half last week, but that was because it was the first episode of the season. I don't think we have to every week.
I think they did pack a lot in there, but, like, it was a lot of just examples of the same thing, like Boimler doing different new things, which were all funny, but they didn't necessarily add a lot new to the story each time. It was kind of reinforcing this lesson about, like, networking, and you never know the benefits that are going to come out of a new experience. And then there was the stuff with Mariner where it was, like, kind of repeatedly hitting the same conflict with Ransom and Billups and Rutherford getting, like, progressively in over their heads on the planet. So, like, there were lots of references and things, but I don't think it really, like, took the premise of the show or the characters into a significantly new territory.
That's true. All right, well, final thoughts then. Or did we miss any canon connections? I think we collected all those.
I think we talked about, we had Spring Ball, we had the mashup of TOS concepts, Bajoran dirges. I don't know if that's actually a canon connection. I don't think we've ever heard those before, but I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And Klingon D&D.
Yes, Klingon D&D, which was amazing.
Yes, it was. The whole episode could have been that. I would have been happy.
Yes. I like how they talked about they didn't really get Martok to do it because it's a Ferengi black market knockoff. And
I thought that was a nice touch with the Gowron versus Commander, whatever his
Gowron
name
versus
is.
Kvok thing? Yes.
Kvok, yeah.
I also liked the point where, like, Ransom is like, Mariner, where are you for this thing? And she's like, it doesn't start for an hour. It's like, you're almost late for being early. And then Rutherford's like, I'm going to finish the game. I just want to be regular early.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
It kind of goes to the whole buffer time thing from earlier, about, like, how they're using their downtime versus their time they're supposed to be doing things. But I think it's a really funny idea that, like, in Starfleet, you're always trying to impress by being ridiculously early for things.
Yeah.
It tracks.
No, it makes perfect sense. All right, well, what are our final thoughts on the episode beyond what we've already said, if we have any more?
Well, it also makes me wonder whether Harry Kim's problem was just that he didn't try enough new things.
I love that. Of course, he got knocked down every time he tried something new.
That's true.
Like.
Well, so did Boimler, but he collected some favors.
Yeah, and Boimler's also still an ensign.
Seska's
but it hasn't been
Bajoran Dirge Choir.
Mm-hmm. That, it would have made sense for that to show up on Voyager because of all the Maquis and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, though, like, at least Boimler as an ensign makes sense. He's a lower decks crew. It never made sense that Harry Kim was an ensign in the first place when he's the head of the operations department on Voyager. But that's a whole other story that we could get into, and we don't need to right now.
I think his problem was he wasn't trying new things with more senior officers than Paris. Like, he wasn't, like, joining Tuvok's meditation class.
Right, or hanging out with Chakotay, and,
Okay, I always assumed that whoever was supposed to be the main ops officer didn't end up on the ship, so he was next in line and got stuck with it.
I mean, maybe?
Maybe?
I mean, they never say that, though.
No, that's a headcanon.
And we don't see another ops officer die like we do with, like, so, like half the
with
other
the doctor,
crew.
Yeah, and the pilot.
All right. Well,
he definitely should have got a promotion at one point during this series. Like, I will always love the scene where Tom Paris walks on into the bridge and, like, his Pip is sitting on his chair, and Harry's just like, I didn't see one of those on my chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Sad clarinet.
Nice.
Yes. Jarrah, much appreciated for you to join us with this discussion today. Where can listeners find you online, and what of your upcoming or current work would you like to mention?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. You can find me personally on social media at Jarrah Penguin. That's JARRAH Penguin. And I also have a website, trekkiefeminist.com. And you can also find my podcast, Women at Warp, at womenatwarp.com and at Women at Warp on all the socials.
Cool. Yes, and definitely worth adding to your podcast queue. For
For sure. Yeah. One of the first Star Trek podcasts I started listening to, actually.
Yeah, we're about to release our 200th episode.
Oh, congratulations. That's
Thanks.
wonderful.
That is exciting.
Thad, where can people find you when you're not trying to figure out how to avoid a wellness-based society if you're like me? Because I would definitely avoid that.
Oh, I would definitely avoid that, too. And the best places to find me, Twitter is where I hang out most of the time. I'm at Tyrannicus, that's TYRANICUS, where I am still going through my alphabetical rewatch of Star Trek. And you can also hear me talk about the James Bond films with my friend Carl on my other podcast, License to Spiel. That's license spelled with a C, like the British do it. Do the Canadians also do it that way, Jarrah?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Chrissie, where can people find you when you're not trying to escape someone who's hunting you?
Yeah, I definitely would be trying to escape someone hunting me. That would not be good. Right, so in addition to Hair and Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on BQN. And that's a twice-weekly history short podcast that I do with my fellow historian partner, Jason. Just this week, we happened to not have Thursdays done yet when Premier Gorbachev died, so we had an extra long episode on the life of Mikhail Gorbachev, which is really interesting. And for someone who grew up during the Cold War and really only got one side of that whole thing, was really eye-opening. So,
did you talk about Pizza Hut?
It's mentioned. It is mentioned. Yep, he did that for his foundation that was promoting democracy and stuff. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, if you haven't seen the Gorbachev Pizza commercial, just Google it. It's cute. All right, and then also I'm happy to chat about our shows in the BQN Collective on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter at the Goddess Livia. That's TheGoddessLivia, where I tweet about Star Trek history and leftist politics.
Don't forget all our other great shows on BQN, like Galaxy Class, All Good Things, Mickey's Marvels, Union Federation, and the aforementioned History with the Szilagys. And exclusive for our Patreon members, there's It's Green with Mark White and Amy's Math Moment.
Previously on BQN. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast.
They're feeling bad and they try to self-medicate to feel better, and that's why mental health, for example, is so important to help people cope with things so they don't turn to drugs to cope on their own. Mm-hmm. There's my Nancy Reagan moment.
There you go. See, we were raised in the DARE program.
Yeah.
Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast.
I love that Pike cooks with cast iron because I truly could not imagine him using any other kind of pans.
I didn't even notice that.
It's just that's a very in character thing for him to cook on, like this, seasoned cast iron. It's probably like 300 years old, and I'm sure, yeah.
Galaxy Class, a Star Trek The Next Generation podcast.
But the biggest reason, of course, being that, Worf is undiscompensated. So his, obviously redemption.
How would we say that?
Commendated.
Or commendated, yeah. If he was discommendated, then
Right.
Accommodated?
I accommodated.
Accommodated.
there we go.
You will find these and more of your favorite podcasts on BQN.
And thank you so much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Tony Robinson for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you want to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at BQN Podcasts, or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective. On our next episode, we'll be talking about Lower Decks Minding the Mind's Minds. Until then, peace and long life.
And all of the alliteration to you.